Welcome, hello. Today we're going to be doing a Elite Series 2 controller. There it is. It's got stick drift in its left analog stick, and it's on the vertical sensor. So you touch it a little bit, it stays stuck up, and the character keeps or the character keeps moving or whatever. We're gonna start. We're gonna start with disassembly. First thing I do is just take off all the buttons, which is just these three things, and then we're gonna remove take it apart by removing the front shell, which is pretty easy. You just get in there with a spudger on the sides, and it should pop right off. You can already see right there where there's a little gap. You start from the bottom, you just work your way around it. You should be able to pop it off right away. Okay, once you do pop it off, it comes off really easily. It might have a little bit of a double-sided tape or some glue right here on the sides, but it comes off really easily. Now we're gonna remove 6 screws. There's one right there, 2 in the center. It's not that many. I'm gonna take all the screws off and then just remove the inside guts of it, and you should be able to get to the board. Okay, we're back. It should just come right off. It's not really held in that hard or anything. You just put this aside for now. Now we're going to take off the screw that's here in the corner. There's 2 screws in each corner of the board. We're going to unsolder the cables, which are color coded. Let's see. Your color coded motor first, which is the big motor, black red, and then black gray for the other little motor on the triggers. Same thing for the other side. And then we're just going to remove we're going to heat up this cap. You heat it up a little bit with a heat gun. Put one of these back on it, and then you should be able to just remove it because they are glued on. You have to twist them off. They're threaded on there, so let's see if I show this without dropping anything. So, real simple, just touch the soldering iron on it. They should just come right off. Just like that. There you go. Keep my iron. Next, same thing. Here's a black red, black gray, so you won't really lose the way they go back on. This one, you just pull the whole motor out, just like that. And usually leave the motor back in there. Next, just lift up this piece of plastic. Remove the 2 connectors, little picked out connectors here for the wireless on the controller. And the controller should come free if you just push down here a little bit. There you go. Just remove the motors. Get them out of the way for now. And the board should be free, but we have to remove this one. We have to remove this one, and the best way to we need to heat this up. If you try taking it off as it is, it's very hard. You're gonna end up damaging the actual joystick itself. You don't want that. So I have a temperature set to 420, and then just give it about 5 to 7 seconds, just enough to warm it up a little bit. It should be hot to the touch, but not enough to burn you, and then that should loosen up the epoxy plenty or enough to remove it. Let's use the other ones. I'm gonna have to Get up a little higher. I'll be back. Okay, so if you warm it up just enough, it should come off fairly easily. It's threaded on there and it's glued. If you can focus, it's also glued on there, but you know, it should come off easily. Now the board should pop off. You get a little post here. You gotta just work the board around it, and it should come right off, just like that. This is the little part I was fighting for right now. This is the headphone jack. This is not soldered on. It's just laying there like that. So make sure you put that back on, or make sure when you're assembling it, make sure it's not like this or anything. You have to make sure it's proper place. Now you can set this aside. You got screws everywhere. So now here's the board like this. We're gonna be fixing this one. This is the left stick, and we're gonna do the vertical sensor, which is gonna be that sensor right there. And it's real easy. It's very easy to do to pop it out, and I'll show you guys real quick. So and I'm gonna heat this one up too, so I can remove it, so I can work on it. So I can work on it easier. This thing's really hard. Okay, we're back, but I could not get this one off without putting. It feels like I'm gonna put way too much force on it and damage the actual joystick. So we're just gonna work around it. What you need to do is get in there on top of here, very top of the potentiometer. Get in there with a blade, and you're just gonna pop it off its little mount, and you're gonna just bend the legs and just remove it, disconnect it from the actual joystick itself. And I'll show you right now how it's supposed to look. See, just like that. Very easy, just as long as it's not touching anymore. What we're gonna do now is just flip the board. And you see those 3 solder points right there? Come on, right there. You're just gonna get your soldering iron, you're gonna drag it on this side. Come on, you're gonna get your soldering iron, and you're just gonna flood this area with solder, right? Just regular solder, and a little bit of flux just to get it moving, or the lead flowing. Once it should get hot enough, and this bottom pot should just fall right off. Or you should be able to just, usually when this cap's not in the way, it should just fall off, but you're gonna have to pull it off, or use some tweezers and pop it off. From there, we're gonna use a little bit of wick, some good wick. Wick the solder off all the 3 holes, and then we'll replace it. And we'll show you when it's done right now. Okay. Once we have it removed. Here's the old one. It looks really messy, but that's just a flux. Okay. There's a little out of focus right there. We're gonna clean it up with a little bit of alcohol and a toothbrush, and we're gonna replace it with this new potentiometer. Same resistance, and we're just gonna pop it back in. Click it into place first here, so it's properly aligned, and then we're just going to solder it back on. Okay, the sensor's back on. You want to make sure it clicks into place nice and firmly, and you can see if it's working by just turning the joystick. You see the actual sensor itself turn as well. All we gotta do is solder it real quick in the bottom 3 points, and then put it all back together. I'm gonna put it all back together, and after this we're gonna plug it into the computer and test it again to make sure it's working properly. Let's try it out. Okay, we gotta plug it back in, and I'm sure we can see it, but it is it's working much better. It's no longer spazzing out. It is a little bit above the center line, but that's just the margin of error. And you know, here you go. Up all the way, down all the way. That's good working fine. And that's how you fix it. Very simple.